Hey, I'm John Dugan. I'm probably best known for playing Grandpa in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I've done 3 of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. The first one, the 4th one, and the 6th one. 3D was the most recent one I've done. And I'm here in where am I? Moline, Illinois, doing Midwest Monster Fest. So in 1973, the summer of 1973, I got an acting job at the Goodman Theater in Chicago for the summer doing a children's play called Taradiddle Tales, where I was dressed up in multicolored tights, dancing around and wearing different masks and things, and telling folk tales and singing folk songs from around the world. And then Kim Henkel called me, who was conveniently my brother-in-law. Kim wrote the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He called me from Texas and asked me if I was crazy. He was like, now remember, this was 1973, so he was like, hey, John, man, you crazy? And of course I said, oh yeah, man, I'm crazy. What do you need? And he told me, ran me down, what was going on, what he wanted me to do, and so I went and gave my notice to the Bella Ivkin, who was an old Russian woman from a pretty well-known theater family, who was the producer of the play that I was in, and told her I gave her my 2-week notice, and a few weeks later I was in Texas. Well, the most challenging thing probably was just, believe it or not, wasn't an acting thing, but it was just trying to be comfortable. Because it was in the house, it was well over 100 degrees, and I was in, latex makeup, a wool suit, leather shoes, and after hours and hours, for instance, like this photograph here was taken 24 hours after I originally sat down in the makeup chair, and it was the following morning, and we weren't done yet. And to get myself into a mental space where I just didn't want to rip my fucking makeup off, it became a challenge, probably the most challenging part of my role, really. I hate to say it, but. I had been working as a grip and a production assistant for several weeks on set while they were designing my makeup, and I don't think anybody knew that I was actually the actor playing Grandpa until I showed up in makeup and wardrobe on the first morning that I shot as Grandpa. So they were like, everybody was like, we were kind of wondering who you were. You're hanging around here all the time. I basically worked with Ed and Gunnar mostly, and then of course there was a very intimate scene with Marilyn Burns, and I didn't know her from anything, and I was actually quite enamored. She was a beautiful young woman, and I was a 20-year-old guy, and 20-year-old heterosexual male, and here I was having the closest thing to sex that anybody in the film was having with this beautiful, beautiful woman. So in my experience with Marilyn, in the beginning, it was quite uncomfortable, which I think kind of worked, really. And then with Ed and Gunnar, we were fast friends. They're easy guys. It's just you know, we got off real quickly. You know, we got along well. So. Yeah. You know, the fact that it became an, you know, an iconic film, and you know, not just horror film, but you know, I bring this up all the time because I'm proud. I want people to know this, but it was named one of the top 100 American films of all time by the American Film Institute. Not the one top 100 horror films, but one of the top 100 films, you know, in American film history. So I'm very proud of that, and of course shocked, surprised, and pissed off. You know, that I didn't have representation. I didn't have an agent, a lawyer, and somebody covering my ass. But with the creative bookkeeping that happened, it probably wouldn't have mattered anyhow, you know. But here I am, you know, the fact that it became such an iconic film, and we have new fans born every day. And here I am 46 years later here, sitting here in Moline, Illinois, of all places, making money, talking to fans, you know, and selling autographed pictures and having fun. And, you know, so it's become my retirement, essentially, because God knows I don't make enough on, you know, Social Security to live. So, all right, you know, it's been a wonderful experience. You know, I'm so thankful to my fans, for one thing, for, you know, keeping us going for all of these years, you know. I can't express that enough. You know, it's all about them. They've done it, you know. We spent a few weeks making a film. They've spent years and years keeping us alive. So. Well, I was in the fourth one, and I got to spend a day working with Renee Zellweger, who at the time was just a girl. You know, nobody knew she wasn't Renee Zellweger. She was just Renee Zellweger. You know. I think she was 22 and I was 40. Or maybe she was 24 and I was 40, I know that. And it was a trip being back, you know, because Marilyn was in the same scene I was in, and Paul Partain was in the same scene that I was in. She was a patient laying on a gurney, and he was like the male nurse or the orderly, whatever, they're pushing the gurney through the hospital. So it's kind of a reverse thing. Instead of her pushing him in the wheelchair, he was pushing her on a hospital gurney. And we got to have lunch together. I hadn't seen him for a while, you know. And on the sixth one, which is, here, can you get that? That's me. That's Grandpa on Texas Chainsaw 3D. So there's 38 years between this one and that one. And it was, being in my trailer. What's the other thing about 3D? They had money. You know, I had an air-conditioned trailer, or a honey wagon. I had a part of an air-conditioned trailer. You know, but I had my own bathroom, my own little place to lay down, my own place to sit, my own makeup table. And I ended up having lunch because it was so hot outside. Of course, 38 years later, it was 103 degrees at 10:30 in the morning. And I'm in a wool suit and makeup. Again, you know. So the makeup crew wouldn't let me outside because that was silicone. Super, super thin. And you could like read a newspaper through it, and so it would melt in the heat. So they kept yelling at me to go back inside. And now I've lost track of what I was saying. So I ended up having lunch at my makeup table in front of a mirror. And, I looked up, and I looked exactly like my father did about a year before he passed away, when he was in his late 80s. And so I just ate lunch and stared in the mirror, and it was like I was having lunch with my dad. It was kind of neat. Sorry. But it was surrealistic. it was moving because I looked so much like my old man, and I miss my old man, and I still miss my old man. And it paid well on time. And I had did I mention the air-conditioned trailer park? So, the production company took very good care of me. So, I was very pleased with the experience. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Oh yeah, I would just like to thank them, and again, I said this before, but I thank the fans, for keeping us alive all these years, and for keep being fans, and keep coming out and seeing us, and support not just us, but support independent film. It's not all great, but some of it's quite good. If you find a filmmaker that you like, follow them and help them. If they have a fundraiser, toss them $10. If there's an act you like, buy their DVDs. Support us. Support your local artists, musicians, actors. It's important to support your arts any way you possibly can.